Hello and welcome to Ecoholics. Now in this lecture we will discuss very important thing, and that is about the future. So here we'll see the future of digital governance. Very important topic for the examination purpose, especially for the mains examination. We'll get the question on this digital governance, that because the focus of the government is to go digital, and these kind of topics are expected to come into the examinations such as the mains examination of UPSC, and you may expect the questions in other examinations of banking, PO, etc. So let's begin with the discussion now. Future of digital governance. Now first of all, what's the meaning of the governance? Here the governance meaning that how government functions. So the governance means the functions of the government, the activity of the government. So this is the meaning of functions. Now the governance is how we can govern the country, how we can control the country, and how we can regulate. So these kind of things are very important. Now you know that government focus is shifting towards to go digital. Why? Because the biggest benefit is, the first one is the reach, so we can reach as many as people. Second thing, we have short amount of time is required, and time and effort, more or less same thing, time and effort. And third thing is this reduce the cost. So if we see the government functioning, it reduces the cost, it increases the reach, as well as it actually short the amount of time and the effort. Now if you have seen, if you have noticed in the last few years, like starting from, we can say, last 5 years, if you see, they marked an acceleration in India's efforts to embrace the ICT. What is ICT? That is information and communication technology. Now why India adopted ICT is just to maintain or to give effective governance. So effective governance is the main goal of the government of India. That's why various government programs are leveraging the help of the ICT on a large scale to transform the public governance. Now the public governance like ecosystem in the country. So that is, India is now fit for future. So that we can say India is now fit for the future, because currently government has taken large steps in order to provide the, we can say, the digital services to the large scale population. Now some of the large scale digital success that we have is the transformation brought out especially in the direct and indirect tax regime. So if you see that direct and indirect tax regime, they played an important role. Like indirect tax, you know that GST, the online, it is the online filing of the tax returns and the information. So this is totally ICT based infrastructure. For direct taxes, especially we can say income taxes, that includes corporate income taxes as well. So if you see the income taxes, right now government is also focusing to make this IT services, income tax services, a faceless service. So you can understand that government is doing a lot of efforts in providing the digital infrastructure for both direct and indirect taxes in the country. If you see that government procurement programs, especially in agriculture sector, so the procurement programs, the most important is the government's e-marketplace. So e-marketplace is actually a marketplace based on the infrastructure of ICT, where you can sell as well as purchase. Now the other programs regarding health is, the best program is Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. So Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, which is popularly known as the Ayushman Bharat program, that is also the biggest example of the adoption of ICT for delivering the public services to the people. Now if you see that under this, government is directly benefiting the consumers or the beneficiaries directly into their account. Here we have the participatory governance that enabled by MyGov. So MyGov is the mobile app as well as the website where you can get the information about your government. This is a big contribution towards the success, and others are also. It means India is now ready with its ICT backbone. Now listen carefully, very important. Now we have built our backbone in the country, and we have, in order to give support this backbone, we need certain horizontal enablers. And still, suppose this is a backbone, and still we need certain bones to support this backbone. How these actually backbone are actually giving supports, like suppose we have the horizontal enablers like unified payment interface, like we have the Aadhaar card, like we have digital locker, digilocker. You must have heard about this digilocker, where we use the robust infrastructure made up by BharatNet and the government of India cloud services. So you can understand that government is thinking to the next level. It means again we can say India is fit for the future, because future is all about the ICT, and this backed by the ICT, we can say backbone, nationwide delivery of the services, especially we can say these deliveries are paperless. The next thing, they are cashless as well, directly into the account. And the next is the faceless, because they don't have the face. What does it mean? It means that faceless means suppose you have a one encounter with the income tax department officials. So that encounter, that government is actually reducing, because you know the case of CCD, Cafe Coffee Day, the CEO, founder CEO of CCD. What happened to that? In his suicide note, he said that he was harassed by the IT officials. So that is why that government wants that India or the government services, especially tech services, should become faceless. Now, till this particular point, we are discussing the we can say robust foundation. So the robust foundation that India has actually built for the information and communication technology for our country. Now we need to prepare for the next wave. Now for next wave of what? Digital governance. Now this next wave of digital governance needs to align with digitally empowered digitally empowered number one, digitally empowered citizens. Now what does it mean? It means that if you give all the services online, your citizens should be prepared for this, like they have or they need to use well versed with the smartphones. They should be well versed with the online transferring of the amount, as well as online delivery of services. So these are the things that is important. We need to uh, align itself, or we need to give digitally empowered citizens the opportunity. The second thing is about the businesses. Like you must have heard about, before GST there were a lot of businesses that were struggling in order to become wholly ICT based, the income tax returns of the GST returns of the indirect taxes. The third one, we have that the government should also digitally empowered. So other, like for example we have the digitalization of the land records. So that is the example for this. So we need, in the next wave, we need to make digitally empowered, number one, citizens, second, businesses, and third, the government. Now to take this digital India story forward, there is a need for a paradigm shift into, we can say, into the e-governance policies. Now e-governance approach is needed, where we can say service delivery must be proactive as well as life cycle driven. Life cycle driven means throughout the life of a particular service, as well as proactive means it should be before a certain event, like proactiveness, like preparing well before tsunami comes. So we can say that these kind of things are very, very important. Now understand, and the shift actually require approaches like change in the traditional department centric approach that India has been following, like making government departments where we have the fixed policies, they are very rigid and they are very, we can say, stringent in their changes. We need to change this traditional departmental centric approach to take the approach towards the stakeholder. So stakeholders approach, like once our prime minister said that these taxpayers are or should be treated as like a consumer, not as like a, we can say, like a thief, or like they have committed certain kind of crime. So they must be treated like a consumer because they are giving money to the government to run that public delivery system. So that is why they should be treated well. If you see that shift actually as I said earlier, that shift requires certain kind of changes. First, from the department centric approach to the approach of the stakeholder. Here stakeholder centric approach means whatever the delivery that we are giving, that ensures the service become more seamless throughout, so that service becomes seamless throughout the value chain. This means no hurdle in between, and such services are must be delivered actively whenever possible. Now suppose we take the example of the whole process that I have been talking about. If you take the example, suppose ABC is the person, or we can say suppose a person X. A person X, let's visualize that you are the person X. Now here the person X is normal Indian citizen. So this is the person that is normal Indian citizen. Now we need to create, the question is, can we create the next generation? So next generation service delivery framework. So that is service delivery framework, where we can say we touch certain points with the government, like all the major events in the life of this person X, that must be identified, digitalized. So first we identify, then we digitalized all the events without a broken chain, where government across all the levels should reach out to this person X with all the benefits, service delivery, etc., where we can say this person X will get or will be able to access such benefits, such services on his or her particular choice. So we can say it depends on choice as well as local languages, where we can say information once provided by this person X will always recorded and not be asked again, not should be asked again. So we can say that this kind of next generation service delivery framework that India should create. Now if we see that, obviously there are challenges. I'm not denying that challenges are not there, but challenges are all over the place. If you're doing a little thing also, the challenges will come. So challenges do exist in creating the, first of all, in creating the unbroken value chain. So challenges are there, like this is, we can say, right time to embark this journey in order to fulfill or make a bridge in between this, like advances made through the government digital India program is obviously on a launch pad. Now if you see that these are on launchpad, it means to take such approach, a persona based approach for delivering services, we can say that large scale rollout of e-governance initiative. E-governance initiatives now has multitude of data, because e-governance now working in the 360-degree direction. It means that data can be leveraged across all the secure government platform to reduce the redundancy of the information. Now, if you see that businesses and citizens across the value chain, that there are need that the data should be available at the 360 degree. Now here what we need is we need to improve the trends, the delivery mechanism, better policy planning. These are the things that we need. Now the larger framework obviously about the individuals. Larger framework is all about the individual's privacy. Now, for the privacy and ensuring the security of gathered data, government needs to build a strong framework for cyber security as well, where people can trust by giving the data to the government. Because if you see in the newspaper, the data leaked of the likes of people, their debit card data leaked, that was the news in the newspaper. So these kind of things make citizens a little vulnerable. So what we need to think carefully about the individual's privacy as well as cyber security. Now this new approach needs to come up with new models of e-governance, like we have in the last few years MCA 21, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, the 21st century model e-governance, where we can incorporate or anything related to firm corporations must be online. So that was a good initiative by the e-governance. But here for the new models, because the approach is new, we need to design again the model. We need to think twice before implementing, because now we are living in a vulnerable world, and to understand these life cycle events that pain points, we can say all the stakeholders like individuals, businesses and other government departments, that we can say we should focus on delivery channels much more right now. Now apart from this, we can bring the appropriate changes through the new government rules and the regulations. So new government rules and regulation plays an important role, like minimum government and maximum governance. That is the mantra of this government or the government of India. So these are the new designs, process, new structure, new service deliveries that required both the stakeholders like the government as well as the non-government. So here non-government means all the individuals, businesses as well, and here on the one hand we have government. So minimum government, maximum governance, that is only possible through the adoption of ICT, and now we have built a great platform for that. So the ICT platform plays an important role. The most important thing is about the customers. Now customers happiness plays an important role. Customer should be happy, and there must be an employee happiness center. Can we think of something on these lines? Then there would be a possibility like feedback system, feed forward system. Now this is the right time for us to take another leap, especially in the e-governance model. Today India is making rapid strides in the adoption of, we can say, the artificial intelligence. India is now taking great leap in machine learning, which is called ML. This is AI. The next thing is about the IoT, Internet of Things. The things like blockchain, like cloud computing, like we have the drones. So India is working on the drones as well, like other services, microservices, etc. They are having huge potential to transform the governance of India. So that is where there's a huge potential lies in order to we can take the advantage from this. All the potential that are having structural and capacity constraint, but exactly we can say our existing model does not support these kind of things. Now several initiatives that have been taken towards the leveraging this advanced technology, like we have seen artificial intelligence, machine learning, internet of things, etc. So we can say that these AI based application or implementing this blockchain pilots, like creating new architecture that obviously help the technological driven framework, but here we can say that enable the delivery services and benefit the citizens. So obviously growing challenges are there, that I'm not denying, but there's now need to converge all such effort that government is having. So what we need a new framework, that is, we can say, centric design human need centric design that we need. It means that framework consider both the demand side and the supply side of the problem. Now it means that we will no longer be followers of the digital governance space, but we will soon emerge as the trend setters. So that is important, that India should become the trend setter, not the followers. So that's it for this lecture, and if you have had any doubt, you can always ask. So most welcome with your doubts you have. Yeah, so we have doubt from Ankit Pandey. What's the doubt? So role of ICT in Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, that is also known as Ayushman Bharat. So for that we have the e-health records of all the patients that are maintained. So this is how we can using the ICT. Apart from this, all the departmental services, like they are providing the single point services. Another framework that they are having is the care, that the primary, secondary and tertiary care, that should be based on a server, so anyone can access. It means citizens as well as the doctors. The communication is also based on among the departments, doctors and the government, that is also based on the ICT. And at last we have NDHM portal, and that portal is national portability of all the health services. So that is how that we are using the ICT in terms of the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. Any doubt you can ask, otherwise we will wind up the session. So on a daily basis, we're conducting this live session from Monday to Saturday, and that is of the current economic discussion and analysis, where we generally take up the topic related to Indian economy, especially for the UPSC students, because my students in Delhi, on their request, I started this live session, and from this will helpful in IAS examination, especially GS3 paper where economy comes. And apart from this, economics optional student will also get benefited from this. Indian economic services, they will also get the benefit. Apart from this will help in RBI and other banking examinations like a specialist officer, etc. So these discussions are very helpful. Apart from this, you can follow us on other social media handles as well, like Instagram, as well as the other like Facebook, and you can always connect directly to me on this WhatsApp number. You can visit our website as well, where we are actually making notes that is freely available for all the students. So if you have any of your notes in the typed form or in the scanned form that you want to contribute to Ecoholics website, then also you can do it, because we are running a foundation as well. That foundation is for free education, so that is why is this important. And if you want, you can always contribute, and follow us on Facebook, where we have the group, so you can discuss there with your colleagues as well as the friends. Apart from this, we are having the courses of Indian Economic Services, Economics Optional, UGC Net, Economics, Econometrics, Mathematical Economics, etc. So here you can take the guidance directly from me, where we conduct classes as well as the subjective test. So that's it for today. And one of so Ankit is saying that yesterday one friend said something about the indexation of Manrega wages. Sir, can you explain in your easy way? There's one full live session I've explained about the Manrega wages. You can refer to that lecture. But still, if you have asked this question, so I'll tell you that Manrega wages, suppose for example, we fix the wage at 100 rupees. That is 100 rupees per month, suppose, in 2018. So the next year, 2019, suppose the inflation is at 5%. So in 2018, the inflation was 5. And this year, so what we'll do, we'll add this 5%, and it will become 105 rupees wages per month from the year 2019. Suppose the inflation would be 10% in 2019. So in 2020, what we do, 10% of this, so it is plus 10% of 105, so that will become 115.5 per month. So that is what we call the indexation of the wages. So you can see that rise of the wages every year on the base or based on the rate of inflation. That is what we call the indexation, because inflation is calculated with the method of the index. So what are the index? WPI, wholesale price index, and consumer price index. So I hope it will make some sense and you will get the answer to your question. So thank you so much, all my dear students, and thank you for subscribing Ecoholics. Good night.